Today, the plan is to start fully upgrading my favorite bike, the Polygon Siskiyou T6E. They say your favorite bike is the one that you learn the most on, and well, in the last year that I've had this bike, this is that bike. I've learned so much on this bike, and yeah, it's an e-bike, and yeah, I made a video on it when I first got it saying that I didn't really like it that much, and a lot of that still holds true. So on the jump and the flow trails, it's still not that great. So instead, when I ride this thing, I ride it where it is great, on single track, tech, and chunk. And I feel like when I ride this bike, I ride like a freaking maniac. It handles so well, awesome doing big hits, alternate lines, and I've gained a ton of confidence from this bike, and that translates to all my bikes. And check this out, I put some serious seat time on this bike. The chain is already worn out, watch this. It is not supposed to drop down like that. So pretty much everything on this bike has been upgraded, from the Zeb fork to the Fox rear shock, the bars, the wheels, the drivetrain, all of it. But like everything, it could be better. So starting with the fork, this is an older gen Zeb Ultimate with a Charger 2.1 damper, and I actually reduced the travel down to 150 millimeters using a different air spring. But I used the newest generation air spring, and I don't think you're supposed to do that, even though it says it's possible. So needless to say, I bottom out pretty easily. Speaking of bottoming out, this Fox rear shock does not feel good. It's really like flat and empty in the mid-stroke, and I constantly have to push down the shock past the mid-stroke to feel the rear end and be able to like maneuver the bike around. Earlier this year, I tried a legit coil shock for the first time, and I was blown away by the mid-stroke support. And I ride this bike like a mini enduro bike. I ride this bike super hard, and I think going with a coil shock is gonna be the way to go. Then with my wheels, I use some Elite Wheels Carbon NAR Trail 29ers. These are e-bike rated, they have bladed spokes, all that stuff, but I've noticed that they have some substantial lateral flex on tech climbs, and I really like riding tech climbs with this bike. So I think the move going forward is I need to get some stiffer wheels on here to avoid that floppy side-to-side give. Also, since this bike is gonna get fully upgraded, I plan on replacing the brakes, the seat post, maybe even the cranks, but probably not gonna get to all that in this video, but let's go ahead and get started. Now, I could use my air compressor to inflate these tires and seat the bead, but that's super loud and my kids are taking a nap right now, so I'm gonna use my Fantic X9 Ace mini tire pump, the sponsor of today's video. This handheld gadget runs for $50, and they say it can inflate 8 tires in one charge, and we're gonna see if it can seat the bead of these tires with Cushcore in. Man, this little device is awesome, and I've actually been carrying this with me in my Camelback or Uzwi bag since April, and I totally forgot it was there because it's not heavy at all. Well, during the high-low finale, when I got a flat, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, oh wait, I have this mini pump with me. And after 3 months of being in my bag, it was still all charged up and got the tire fully inflated, no problem. Overall, I definitely recommend this Fantic X9 Ace mini pump, and if you want to get one for yourself, use my link in the description, and I have a code that you can use for 30% off right here, and check out Fantic's massive product lineup for more back-to-school deals. All right, let's finish up this install. And there we go. Man, this is like the third set of tires that I've changed that has Cushcore with my cast on, and I'm sweating, dude. But check this out, some brand new Hunt wheels. This is looking freaking awesome. So the first set of wheels I had on here were Hunt E-Enduro. I had it set up mullet, but I talked to the guys at Hunt and they said, no, dude, try out these new Hunt E All Mountain. So I was like, all right, let's do it. But I went ahead and threw on my brand new chain here. I stripped off all the grease on the ultrasonic cleaner. I also threw in the cassette, because why not? But then I ended up removing a whole bunch of black anodization on there. So whatever, man, it's custom now, I guess. So before, the color scheme I had on here was gray and orange, but I'm kind of over the orange. That was so 2023. Now I'm moving on. So this frame has some red logos here and there. So I'm gonna change the color scheme to gray and red. So I went ahead and installed this 1-up axle with the first little pop of red on there. But wait until you see the next part that's all red, dude. You're gonna love it. Got me a big old package from the Lost Co. And I can't wait to see what's inside of here. I have not opened it yet. All right, here it goes. Let's check this out. Oh, yes, dude. Oh, dang. What? Man, I haven't seen one of these in person yet, only on the internet. Dang, dude. Wow, and this is pretty light, too. I also got a matching coil. Dang. What? That is awesome, dude. Man, this is gonna look so good on this bike, but I have my work cut out for me. So for some reason, I just love red forks. And 2 years ago, I bought a red Bomber Z2 from the Lost Co for the high-low series. I buy all my parts from the Lost Co now, my favorite place to buy bike parts. So when this red Zeb came out, I just had to have it. But they were flying off the shelves and I just bought whatever was in stock. So this one is 180 millimeters travel. So what I have to do to make this work is I have to take out the air spring out of this one. Remember, it's the newer generation, so it's made for this. And I have to swap it into this one. So it's gonna be a lot of work. Let's get to it. Man, it's super funny that we spend all this money on nice forks, and the first thing we do is rip it apart and even cut some pieces off the thing. But I have some trust issues when it comes to forks being sent from the factory with like too much grease or not enough oil. But everything was looking pretty good. It was pretty easy to swap out the air spring, but I wasn't sure about the oil volume levels or like which ones to use. And I was kind of in a hurry because this is taking a long time. So I actually messaged the Lost Co on Instagram and they responded super fast, almost immediately. And it's funny, I think I was talking to the owner, Mike, but he pointed me to the tech section where they have all the oil volumes listed for all sorts of forks. Super helpful, and it was faster than looking up myself. And that's why I buy from the Lost Co. They are just super good customer service. But I did all that fork work with my cast off because I wanted to test out my thumb. And my thumb is still pretty tender with some movements. And man, I am just ready to be done with this injury already. But let's get this thing installed on the bike and see how it looks. I'm getting so pumped on how this build is turning out. I went ahead and installed my 1UP EDC light tool because, like I said, I ride this bike like a maniac. I'm probably gonna be breaking some stuff, let's be real. So, man, I'm just super pumped on this bike. It's gonna be really dialed in for when I'm ready to ride, but I wanna take it outside and see how this red fork looks in the sunlight though. Oh yeah, that feels good, man. Nothing like a fresh fork. And man, this is the first time that I've actually been able to put my hand on a grip. I've been kind of doing some rehab exercises. Don't tell my doctor. But yeah, there's still a lot of things to do with this bike. Obviously I don't have any brakes on here, like no front brake, no disc in the rear, so I can't ride it just yet. But man, I have so many things I want to do to this bike, like the Maven Ultimate brakes. You saw the red coil I want to put on this. I want to go wireless dropper. Man, I got some big plans for this thing coming up. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep rehabbing my thumb. I'm so close, man. So close to being back on the bike.